I was considering not playing that intro because I just felt like maybe oh, what happened with Jake? I gotta change the camera here. Um Give me a second, people. I was considering not even playing that intro because the players didn't deserve it. We don't deserve to see their awesome goals and moments that they've done in the past. But look, it's two. You can see in the title, it's 2 a.m. here, guys, and I'm gonna do something I never would do, but I'm gonna be a little bit unprofessional here today. The what I go through to back this football club against morons and idiots all the time, 7 days a week. It's 2 o'clock in the morning here. Arsenal put in an absolute shit show of performance, and it's 2 o'clock in the morning here. I'm still talking about it because you guys, my viewers, are number one for me. The ones that are coming on this channel, you are here for a reason. You see the notification come up, and you're like, all right, let's go. Because we actually talk about real stuff. What's wrong with the football club? What's right with the football club when it needs to be, not agendas. But today, guys, unless it is called upon, and I feel that it is not right what people are saying, or it's a bit unfair, the book, you can throw the book at Mikel Arteta. You can throw the book at these players because I'll start it to begin with. I've not given up on winning the league title. I told you the league title is done. Why would I then all of a sudden say that, hey, we're not winning it? That would be spastic, honestly, on the base of one game. Like, it's still all to play for. So let's use this today as a wake-up call, being like, we have every opportunity to win the league. We have every opportunity to win the Champions League. We have seen games this season which tell us that we're capable of doing it. But let's be quite honest about what we saw today. Today was a performance that told you that we are also very much capable of doing what everybody, unfortunately, has has been saying and I've been biting against us, which is we could bottle it. And for the first time this year, I'm gonna humble myself and say it's a possibility. But
yeah, that's
we
worrisome.
need to go out. We need to go out and we for real. And I'm not talking. And look, I have been on the boat of, hey, Arsenal fans, let's get behind the team. And I had no problem with what Mikel Arteta said yesterday, even though I took a piss out of it a little bit in the pregame today after I saw his lineup about the, bring your breakfast, bring your lunch, bring your dinner. Because, there's nothing wrong with trying to get your fan base pumped up, but don't lie to us. That's my problem. And also, by the way, all right, the fans did their part. Look, we're human, and if we concede a goal in a title race, and we'll get. I see you guys in the charts, but we can see. Oh, I gotta do my monologue, by the way. When we see go 1-0 behind in a title race game at home against a Bournemouth team that, let's be honest, we need to be beating if we're going to win the league, who beat us last year. We have every right to go quiet and be anxious because we are anxious. Even I'm anxious. Like, it's time to be real and to be honest. And I do need to apologize. I always feel like when we lose, I'm apologizing to people because maybe I'm so super positive about this team, and I just want to keep everybody kind of sturdy. But sometimes when you guys are going on and you're upset and you're seeing things, I'm battling back against it, and I will continue to do it if I feel that's the way to be. But you guys sometimes have had valid points that maybe I have ignored, and today it's open season. I'm not actually. I promise to you today, I will not rebut a word anybody says unless it goes along the lines of, even if we win the league, Arteta should be gone, because that's stupid. So what the trial on Mikel Arteta will happen if he does not deliver the title, and we have to wait. Now I think we got about how many games now would we have? 10? 10 games left to go in all competitions. We make it to the Champions League final. Then we can discuss that for real. But he would have to have lost out on this title and not won the Champions League for that conversation to occur. But if we want to criticize him, ask questions on what has gone on, why all of a sudden a team that has lost 3 times all season has now doubled that number in the space of 3 weeks. It's all fair to question, right? It's all fair to question. I sat here, and this is why I did this show earlier at the beginning of the day, because I wanted you guys to know that I'm not a hypocrite. I never have done a lineup show, and I probably won't do it again unless, of course, the behavior by Arteta continues to occur.
Unless we see the same lineup.
Right. I did that as a purpose thing, and I said in the start, and I said it on that show, Rookie was here, I said, this is the feeling I had before Aston Villa. I really hope it's not the same. But it was. In fact, it was the same scoreline. The same script. In fact, it was, as I said, if I can see in the description of the video, it's eerily similar. This is a Premier League version of what we saw exactly a week ago against Southampton. And the lineup was basically, the problems we had against Southampton were in our lineup against Bournemouth. And that was the problem that I had with it. So,
100%.
Look, we can go through the game. We can go through who's not good and who is good. And if guys, anybody watch The Terrace, I might play back my rant again here, just because I don't feel like I've ever said it as crisper and as clear as to the public as I can. Jake, make sure that you are safe there in the car, buddy.
I am. I got attacked by a bee.
Okay. All right.
I'm not moving. YouTube, don't worry. We're not moving. There was a bee. It's a whole thing.
Yeah. But yeah. Questions. I've got questions about why for so many years Saka has been played when he doesn't need to be, and now when we're on the cusp and we need to win games, win a title, now we're deciding we're going to give him a holiday. Either that, or tell me what actually is going wrong with him. If he's got a serious injury, let us know so we know how many weeks he's out. At least you were upfront about Eze straight away. And hey, you surprised us. Hey, he's back today, and thank God for that. And I'm
really though, I don't know, man. He didn't. I think
we'll get into it.
Jake, it looked like he was hurt.
You see this coffee? This is what I'm living on right now. I have to get to bed eventually, and I will be here for you guys because seriously, I'm building this community, and you guys are here all the time. I don't even give you that much notice. I just jump on live, and all of a sudden, you guys are all here. I very much appreciate all you guys. You guys are rock stars. And I was talking to Terry backstage afterwards, because I feel like myself as a creator, I've been on a bit of a journey this year. I've been pegged and I've been labeled as this delusional Arsenal cheerleader that has an agenda or doesn't able to look at and see the criticisms. I'm not able to criticize this team. I always have an excuse. And if people who believe that don't actually watch this show or ever listen to me. Like today, when Arsenal deserved to be ripped into, I said ripping. When the manager deserved to be ripped, I don't know how many shows I've done in the last week or so doing that. I'm actually sick of it. I actually want to be like, hey, Arteta, good job. You learned today. But now all 3 defeats all follow the same fucking script, which is Kai fucking Havertz starting in the 10. And all you morons, not you, because all you guys, I know, I've been reading your comments. None of you guys have actually disagreed with it because you guys actually watch football games and you're intelligent human beings. That's why you're here. But The morons. Havertz scored a goal to win the game. He deserves to start. Martinelli assisted him. He deserves to start. This is what pisses me off. If a person succeeds in a specific role, why change his role? Kai Havertz, I didn't say Kai Havertz should never play for Arsenal. Kai Havertz is a super sub. Kai Havertz scores. He's got ice in his veins in certain moments. You put him in certain moments, and he will excel. Same with Gabriel Martinelli. They're actually almost identically the same, but neither of them are starters. They actually are time wasters, and they create weaknesses within Arsenal. I swear. Unfortunately, Ben White is falling into that category himself too.
If you play him at forward, the only spot he's good at, then he's fine. It's fine. Ugh.
Yeah, look, we are in a pickle, and I think maybe going for the quad does play a little bit into it. Like, it's just like this team is gassed. We're trying to find solutions for it, and it's just like problem over problem over problem. When we try to cover one hole, the other one opens. And this is the biggest, hardest thing I have to say. And this is me really, and I saved this take just for you guys because you guys are my people. And I wasn't going to say it on the terrace. And if anybody wants to catch me saying it, they're going to have to come here and watch my content. I was wrong about Arsenal having the best squad in the world. Because if we did, doesn't matter if players are missing. We should be able to balance all the competitions. We should be able to trust the players who are in there. And on paper, by the way, at the start of the season, when I said that, I thought Lewis Skelly was better than he turned out to be. I definitely thought Ben White was better than he turned out to be. I even thought Havertz was better than he turned out to be. But in the crunch time, when I really needed them, and it's kind of apparent to me, Arteta wasn't willing to rotate some of these guys because they just can't be trusted. And unfortunately, we've got a bunch of fans who scapegoat people, and yes, I will end this rant before I let Jake come in by once again underlining the take that I did get the whole season, and I'm so happy that I backed it the whole year, was Victor Gyökeres. Do you remember when we were winning and everyone was scapegoating Victor Gyökeres or pointing out, this guy's trash, he's not the player to blah, 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 blah. Yeah, and he missed some chances today at the end. But he was okay, I gotta say, Declan Rice falls in this category because he also was doing everything he can for the shirt. And by congratulations to him, he finally got the captaincy he deserves. And it's really, I really sucks for him that the first time he actually gets to wear the armband, this is the performance.
That was so disappointing. One of the most disappointing things about today is that Rice has the armband and we drop a generational stinker. Yeah.
But Victor Gyökeres is the player who actually has the winning mentality in this team. And he was, and with all these, I gotta say, the majority of them, and this is going to be real, it's going to be harsh, and it's going to be against everything I've said the whole year. Losers who don't know how to win in the rest of this team, those are the guys that you're able to turn back to. Oh, I can't wait for Kai Havertz to come back to save us. Has he ever won anything with us ever? He started up front, and we haven't won at anything. Oh, Jesus, let's start him and however Gyökeres. He's been here for 3-4 years. We haven't won anything with him. The disrespect you guys gave him. He's won back-to-back league titles, and I don't give a fuck if it's in Portugal. He knows what it takes to win.
Let me ask you this, Anton. Who was the last Arsenal player to get 18 goals in a season?
Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang.
Boom.
And before that was Alexis Sanchez.
Boom. There you go.
And before that was Robin Van Persie. And before that was Thierry Henry. You see that company he sits in?
No one's done it. No one's done that since Arteta's been here. Like, come on.
Do you want to rename those players? These are I think, last 4 or 5 players who've done that. Well, I'm going to go in backwards. Victor Gyökeres, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, Alexis Sanchez, Robin Van Persie, Thierry Henry. What, outside of Gyökeres, who I know everybody wants to still, for some reason, tell me that I'm deluded by putting him in these conversations, what do all four of those other players have in common?
Silverware.
They're also the talisman of Arsenal Football Club at the times. And
Proof in the pudding.
So I right now, right here, I told you guys he'd be the key. He's still scoring for us. By the way, this is the thing. This is why it's deja vu. He scores against Southampton in a 2-1 loss. He scores against Bournemouth in a 2-1 loss. And credit to Gabriel Jesus, by the way. When he came on the pitch, even though I wrote him off, he at least is trying something, and he brought some creative spark. He did more in 4 minutes than Gabriel Martinelli did the whole fucking game.
Yep.
So I got to give him... I'm not going to throw everybody under the bus because I think we have a tendency to do that, and we don't actually point out the good that we've seen out of these performances. By the way, the Max Dowman thing about putting pressure on a 16-year-old has to stop today, because you saw what happened today. Arteta threw him on so fucking early in the second half, and despite him being Magic Man, which he can be when he grows up, and he has the ability to be in this where it counts in this title race, he wasn't the right person for that moment. In fact, what really needed to happen, and you know, I got pushback at halftime from certain people when I suggested it, which is that you got to bring on Mascara and you got to bring on Hincapié, because that helps your issue. Maybe even Norgard, actually. And we'll talk about Zubimendi in a second. But yeah, no, I'm disappointed. But Arteta, this is the last thing I'll say. And Jake's frozen for a little bit, so if he'll get himself sorted, and I'll read your comments as well. Mikel, the clock is ticking. You've got 10 games to win me at least one trophy. More specifically, the Premier League. Because I swear, if we don't win this and that fucking trophy still has got light blue ribbons on it, we're going to have a problem. And I don't want to see you next year. Because you have shown me that you can take us only as far as you can, and you don't know how to navigate the toughest part of the season. Like giving press conferences and trying to get the... Okay, Jake's coming in and out. Having press conferences where you're trying to rile up the fan base, but yet not able to rile your own players up to perform as they should in the title race. That's number one. Here, Jake's back. In your priority list. It's number one. And you couldn't get that handled. It's about getting your players to fire, not the fans. The fans did their part. I think maybe I didn't finish that point. But the fans did their part. Their fans were cheering. They were chanting loud at 0-0 and at 1-1. Right? And just when the belief came back in the team, just like last week with Southampton, I'm like, hey, you know what? Despite it being shit, I think we're going to get this done. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Yeah,
it's literally the same fucking thing. We go back to 1-1, like, hey, look, Arsenal, we had all these chances, blah, blah, blah. And then we get ripped. They literally waltz through the middle and get a 1-on-1 shot.
It's literally an identical goal, too. The goal was literally identical to Southampton's second goal.
When you try the same thing and you expect different results, that's the definition of insanity. Today, basically playing the exact... it's not just that. The problems against Southampton started today. It's not even like the ones that weren't really much of a muchness were in. It's the exact problems. Kai Havertz, Ben White, Miles Lewis-Skelly. Credit to Miles Lewis-Skelly, wasn't actually that poor, but it was still there. Like, you're setting the precedent. You know what I mean? Hincapié, if he's fit enough to be on the bench, can play. I don't have this, oh, he's not fit enough. Well, win the game, start off strong, and then switch him on for MLS.
Exactly.
It can happen in the reverse.
We have a systemic issue throughout the whole team, from Arteta all the way down, with if something we're doing isn't really working, we abandon it. So Trossard starting and Martinelli finishing worked versus Sporting. And we tried to do the opposite today, where what we needed was someone to come in and take on the guy and beat the guy. Trossard doesn't do that ever. Not ever.
But neither Martinelli, by the way. As I said in the pregame, all he does is dribble with his head down. He doesn't even actually properly dribble. He just knocks the ball forward and runs, and he doesn't take on his man. As you said it perfectly. I said Jimenez is there to be got at, and you're like, well, that's if he actually takes him on, and that was spot on. What does Martinelli actually do? Every once in so I tell you what I told you exactly earlier what he does. He's a super sub. He's made for certain moments. And when those moments come up, that's when you trust him. But he's not a starter. You know, we have this thing in the NBA, they call the sixth man, right? Yeah. Sixth man of the year. Like, I'm not a Clippers fan, but I have a lot of friends in LA, and a lot of friends, all the Clippers fans always used to ask, like, why does Lou Williams never start? Do you know that every time Lou Williams started I know that you guys probably don't know who Lou Williams is, but he was like multiple time sixth man of the year. The Clippers record in games that Lou Williams started is like really bad. It's like a 33% win percentage. The games in which he comes off the bench and he scores like 20, 30 points coming off the bench, because that is his role, and he accepted that. That's his role. It's not always about, hey, this guy came up with the moment, so now we're going to reward him with a start. It's not about, this is such an old school way of viewing football. It's starters and finishers. People coming off the bench are just as valuable as the ones that started. But you have to make sure, once you've got the right order, you stick to it. Especially now. And again, I will reiterate, where is Saka? Where are you? Why are you watching this game on your couch? Again, I appreciate I don't know enough about his medical condition, and I will make that clear, right? But let us know. As I said, just let us know. Stop lying to us. Don't say when they ask, hey, what about Saka and Timber and Calafiori? None of them trained. Are they going to be playing tomorrow? Oh, yeah, there have been changes on that. No, there weren't.
He said that some of them were available. He fucking lied. He said when they asked him about Calafiori, Odegaard, Saka, Timber, I watched the press conference. His words were, some of them are available.
Here's a mistake Arteta
were there today, bro. None of them were there today.
Here's the mistake Arteta made. In terms of, he's trying to rile up the fan base. The worst thing you can do is make it on, put it on us, because I've also criticized us for being too toxic and not having a winner's mentality as a fan base and just getting behind it regardless of how we feel. I've had that spiel, but you can't do that and then not have your players prepared to play. But also can't gaslight us, because if you did in the press conference said, hey, no, they're not available to play, all of us would be like, all right, we're probably going to have a similar lineup to that of Southampton. But we are going to go into the game realizing that, and having our expectations like that, and knowing that we need to get this over the line, and we're going to will them over the line despite the lack of talent that's out there. But what's happened instead is that he's given us this idea of, hey, there's a chance that we can go really, really strong and everybody's going to be back, and we should destroy Bournemouth. We just won. We're expecting all these players to be back in the lineup. And then when the lineup news comes out, and he's this, you can see it in me. I made a show I never expected to have. And I see the pre-game feeling goes from excitement. All the posts, man, there must have been about like 10 inspirational posts from Arsenal in the last 24 hours.
No, the one
And
that
then you
does my head
ruined
in,
all of that the minute you post the starting 11 because you lied to us. Just don't lie to us.
man, what does my head in, actually, I don't know if you're a member of the Arsenal email list,
I am, of
but
course.
the emails that the club sends out right before games are embarrassing.
Mm.
It's embarrassing. The stuff the inspirational stuff that says, and then the team goes out and does that is embarrassing.
And by the way, you sent Martin Odegaard to send a personal message, and he didn't show. I didn't play. For me and Jake were talking yesterday, right? And Jake said, "Hey, Odegaard's probably going to play. I believe Odegaard's going to play, right?" And I said, "Look, if he does, I'll come to you. But from what I've been told, he's not going to play." Then I saw him make a message on the social media account and the website, trying to get us all riled up. I'm like, well, if he's making a message to the fans, he must be playing. Otherwise, why would you put his face there? Nope, not even on the team sheet. Stop lying to us. I don't like liars.
And it
That's
was all
where that's
right, man. It was all down the right hand side to the players that he said might be there. It was all the right hand side today. Like Ben White, I don't know why it took him so long. If Christian Mosquera is on the bench, like you said, same with Hincapié, if Mosquera's there, why does he not start over Ben White? It's so obvious. It's so obvious for literally everyone on the planet to see that Ben White's head is so far up as you know what, that he's not going to compete for us ever again. He's not going to do anything good for us ever again. And I defended this man when all the England fans were booing him. I defended you, and you've dropped 5 stinkers since that first England game that you came in. You were shit in that game. He was shit in the next England game, and he's been shit for us ever since. I don't understand it. I don't understand why Arteta cannot see that his players are playing bad and you need to do something differently. And someone in the comments did say, we don't have anyone else. When Odegaard and Eze are down, Kai Havertz is our only option. You know what? No, it's not. It's really not. We have other midfielders in this team. You can make a 3-man midfield that doesn't involve Havertz being in the midfield, because every single time Kai Havertz has ever started in the middle of the pitch in that 10 role or in the left 8 role for us, it's been a disaster. And just because one time in a dead rubber match he was able to combine with Victor Gyökeres versus fucking Kairat, he gets to play there all the time? Nah, man, nah. Just like someone else in the chat said, why not try Miles Lewis-Skelly in the middle? Why not try maybe Rice, Norgard, Zubamendi? Maybe push Zubamendi and let him actually be able to use his passing abilities instead of having to cover ground and win second balls, which is what Declan Rice does, which is what Christian Norgard does, an actual defensive center midfielder. You know, the whole time Zuby's been at this club, it's been a mystery to me why he is played farther back than Declan Rice. It doesn't make any sense to me. And now it's getting exposed because Zubamendi is getting really, really tired. He's never played an entire season at this level because he's been at Real fucking Sociedad, not at a really, really high level team. He's never played this many games at such a high level, and he's absolutely flagging. You can see it. He was good in the beginning of the season, but he's steadily declined, slowly, little by little by little. And Declan Rice today was not at his best. You know why? Because he's having to cover the entire middle of the pitch by himself. And if Rookie can see it, if I can see it, if you can see it, if JT can see it, if all the people in the fucking chat can see it, how come Arteta can't?
yeah. Your guess is as good as mine. Like again, as I say, I have spent the whole year defending this team, telling everybody, guys, hey, we're winning this. By the way, I might be right at the end, and my God, if we're right at the end, they put us through the ringer to get there. But at the moment, it feels like if we get there, it's just because Man City just isn't good enough to win it either.
Look, I want to qualify my statement. I want to qualify my anger because yes, I'm pissed, and yes, I really am fed up with Arteta. But big but, I think it would be catastrophic to fire him. I think if Arteta goes, the whole project goes up in flames, and we're set back
correct.
a lot. And we're set back a whole lot. If Arteta goes, if we don't win anything and Arteta leaves, it's a nightmare. It's a disaster. It's awful.
Learn from Chelsea. We could
very,
easily end up with a guy
bad.
like Liam Rosenior there instead.
It will be very, very bad for this club if Arteta leaves. It will be very, very bad. I do believe that. But also, he's not doing enough right now. And we're at a crossroads. We are 100% at a crossroads. If Arteta wins, he becomes a winner. He becomes everything we need him to be. But if he doesn't, everything that all the haters have said about you is true. And your legacy
hurts me.
Your legacy is that of an absolute bottle job loser if you don't win something this season. That is the situation you've created. That is the situation he's made for himself because he refuses. And look, a lot of people will give people or a manager or someone in a powerful position credit for sticking to what they do. Sticking to your guns, sticking to what you believe in, and sticking to how you play and how you want to do things is fine. That's great. If you win, if you're successful. But if you're not, and if you fail, and if you lose, everything, all the criticisms that everyone has ever said are validated and become true. And that's the crossroads that we're at. Are we
the crossroads also
FC? Are we Bottle Job FC, or are we going to become Premier League champions? Those are the only options right now. Because that's the situation we've put ourselves in. And respect for sticking to your guns. Respect for sticking to what you do and believing in who you are and how you play the game. But when it doesn't work, all of the criticism will become true. And that's the crossroads we're at. We either go on and win this league and become the winners that everyone is praying we become, as everyone in the Arsenal fan base is praying we are, or you have to face the music. You have to face the truth of what you are.
Yeah. And again, this was the one that hurt me, right? I've been saying this the whole time, and we even said it yesterday when we recorded our video, right? It's good to have the Premier League back because that's where the competition where Arsenal have been the most consistent in. I mean, I guess you said the Champions League, our record has been pretty flawless in that too. But it's just good to be back in the, I'm happy. I'm okay if Arsenal's wobble happens in the cups and we're not dropping Premier League points during our wobble. But now and I kept saying, look, it's not the Premier League. No Premier League points has been won or lost. So that's overreactionary to say it's going to affect it. Now it's not, because now it has affected and we actually are losing Premier League games in the way that we were losing cup games. And David Raya was in the goal today. So who are we going to scapegoat? And David Raya had the same problems as Kepa in terms of he couldn't get out. Why? Because nobody does proper analysis. Kai Havertz. There's no out ball. He's looking for the out ball. The out ball, by the way, which everyone criticized. Why is Odegaard picking the ball up from the center backs? Do you know who also picks the ball up from David Raya when he's got the outlet to go get? Martin Odegaard. I don't want to hear Martin Odegaard. I don't want to hear it. I don't give a fuck if he passed it, played kickabouts with Rice in the middle of the field in Sporting. Do you know what we also did in Sporting? One. That wasn't a great performance either. I don't think, me and Jake said it was a great performance. Oh, Jake wasn't even here, but I didn't say it was a great performance. But what it was is a winning performance, and that's all I fucking give a shit about. Just win the damn game. And the Arsenal players need to stop getting behind a microphone and trying to fucking put it on us. Again, as I said, I'm culpable of putting it on us too. And there are some fans in our fan base who even today still deserve to be criticized because they're doing more harm than they do good. But the ones that actually are in the stadium supporting and backing you, and that's kind of who they're targeting. Because to be honest, the Arsenal players and Arteta know that the specific, very toxic members of our fan base are a lost cause. They're not even speaking to them. They're speaking to the ones who actually show up and are in the game week in and week out. And you killed them. You killed their belief. You killed them. The fact that they left before the whistle even ended, I can't blame them for it.
At some point,
sometimes
you got to give fans something to believe in. You have to. It's a give and take. It's a give and take. You can't play like shit over and over and over and over and over and over again and expect your fans to believe you, to believe that you're not going to do that next game. That's why we're nervous. That's why the energy in the stadium, the commentators were talking about the energy in the stadium. Well, the energy in the stadium is a reflection of the energy in the team. It's a reflection of the energy in the manager. So if the manager has a piss poor negative attitude towards the game and the players are not showing any energy on the pitch, why should the fans?
Here's the thing, right, Jake? If I was Arteta right now, because what I feel, I feel from a little bit, because yeah, they are players, they're all in the red zone, and they're all kind of like here and there, and because they've been kind of overutilized throughout the whole season, and they've been battling in injuries, and been out with short-term injuries, come back, been out with short-term injuries. It's been a whole thing. I don't think there's one player really in the team that has not been affected by injuries once this year. If you can tell me one player has played every single game or been healthy for the whole season, let me know. Maybe it's Martin Zubimendi, actually. I'm thinking about it, but he's the one who's gassed.
I think Raya has not been injured. He hasn't played Raya, but he hasn't been injured.
Raya, right? But most of them have, in some shape or form.
Yeah, I can't think of another one that hasn't been.
So I understand, but at the moment, if I was him, fuck it. Like, honestly, if I don't win the league, none of this is my problem anyway. I got to do it. As Jake said, there is no next year in terms of your reputation. There is no next year. Some of the most staunch Arteta-inners will probably back you, but probably will be kind of put in the loony bin a little bit by the rest of the fan base. And I'm talking about even me and Jake, who are neither Arteta in or an Arteta out. We want Arsenal to win. Even us will put Arteta-inners who still back him next year in the loony bin.
Yeah.
Right? Even us. You have got 10 games, as I said, to win a trophy. So fuck it. Why, over all these years, have you not cared about Bukayo Saka being on the red zone, but suddenly now you do? Fuck it. You haven't cared about Timber being in the red zone for 2 years, but all of a sudden now you do? Just fucking play your best players. And if some of us go down, well, you know what? That's just kind of what it was. And the good news would be that they wouldn't go to the World Cup and they could probably play in preseason, but probably not for you.
It's going to take everything. It's going to take everything we have to get this over the line. And I do mean everything. So if a couple players have to sacrifice hammies to win the league, that's the remit. That's what it is, man. You guys get paid ridiculous, stupid, obscene fucking money to play this game. You can go give your hamstring to get it over the line.
See, this is what angers me, Jake.
I'm going to say, give your legs to
I'm going to say something, and by the way, I'm going to get to all your comments, by the way, because it's been about 40 minutes and I haven't read any of your comments. So I definitely promise, and I told you I would read them without rebuttal, because everyone's voice deserves to be heard and validated today. Because everyone's one eye opener today is a lot of things that people have said and I've denied have shown themselves, and you know, as I said, you're learning about me as a person. The more you see, what you learn about somebody is when when things are going right, you don't learn much about people. It's easy to be around when things are going right. So what happens when things are going wrong, man? And when things are going wrong, I want to see what you guys are all about. And, you know, and some of you guys, when things were going right, pointed out things that were they to be criticized, red flags. I did it before this game. That's why I did the show earlier. So I will get into all of that. But I'm going to say something I just thought of when Jake was talking. that I feel is a harsh truth, and maybe tell me if I'm being a little bit tinfoil hat here, and I'm just saying something that probably everyone is too scared to say. But if these players are being saved or are not willing to actually play now in the most important games of the season, talking about FA Cup quarterfinal, Champions League quarterfinal, the run in for the Premier League, like this is it. And if you're saving yourselves so you don't get hurt before the World Cup, and yes, there I go, I dropped it, then leave my club, even Saka.
Agreed. 100% agreed. I agree.
I mean, does that not make sense? That's the only thing I can explain it.
I guess. If I find out that Bukayo Saka is saving himself for England for the World Cup, that might be the most devastating, disappointing news that I've heard from Arsenal.
Here's the thing, Bukayo Saka. Me and Jacob both said, hey, Max Dowman is too young to rely on a 16-year-old. But that 16-year-old is only going to be growing, and he's there to take your spot. Like,
yep.
You actually have a guy who's going to replace you.
Yep.
So fucking play, win us these trophies, and be a legend. Either that or Max will replace you. I promise.
He's another one. Saka's another one who all the noise, all the things that the haters say about him, if he doesn't step up and contribute to us winning this title, tough conversations, bro. Tough conversations got to be had, because all of the noise gets closer to being true the more you show it to be true. I love Bukayo Saka. I absolutely
I do, man. I do. I all these guys that we spoke about today, I have defended at one time. That's my brand. I am your defense. I am your lawyer defender.
We've been the Younger Defense League.
I came to YouTube because I've sat back and not be able to talk. I've only little typed away in the comments section like you guys, but never been liked, never been heard, whatever, until I just showed up on Terry's show and I started to speak just what I feel is true, rather than, because I hear a lot of bullshit and I'm like, what the fuck are you even saying? And a lot of crap that's said about this football team, and that is what created Anton on YouTube. I've been alive for 34 years now, but in terms of this, right? I'm here because I was sick and tired of listening to all this crap. But if all this crap becomes true, and I've sat the whole year defending it, trying to, cut it out and trying to basically poke holes in everybody's lies. But if the lies are actually come out to be real, that's a dark, 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 dark reality.
And that's why I keep using the crossroads thing. That's why I keep saying the crossroads thing, because we're the knife edge that Arteta wants to play on has the entire fan base who've defended him and who've defended the players. We're on that same knife edge with them. And if it goes one way, it's a disaster. It's an absolute disaster for everyone involved. But if we win, if you get it over the line, all of it just disappears, man. All of the banter from the last 5 seasons could just, if you get it over the line. But conversely, it will all be validated if you don't. And that's the position we're in. That's the knife edge with that the Arteta's game management philosophy has gotten us in. It's all on Arteta. It's all on Mikel Arteta. He's brought us to this point where it's either we are everything that the haters say we are, or they can all go be quiet now.
At the same time, though,
there's no in between.
At the same time, though, when it's becoming a theme in recent weeks that the other team looked like they work harder than us, that is when I start to worry. And if it happens once or twice, it's fine. But if it's happening consistently and there's a pattern there, that's when it's time, as I said on my thumbnail, it's time to talk. But guys, before I get into your comments, I will say, like, I saw lead judges, and lead judges for me, actually, I've been realizing the last week or so, we're a lot alike in terms of you guys just don't know it yet. In terms of Lee Judges loves Arsenal. When Arsenal win, he's got nothing but good things to say about Arsenal. You can tell he loves the way he spoke about that Sporting game was different to anybody else. He was sat there in the crowd. He was really appreciated, and he ripped the team against Southampton. But I will correct him on one thing because I think this is ridiculous to say. If City beat Chelsea tomorrow, the league is done. Is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Now, what I will say, next week, unfortunately, because of now, suddenly matters.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like a whole lot.
We had the cushion. We had the cushion where even if we showed up and lost, we were going to be fine.
Well,
now we can't do that.
We used it. We played that card.
Yeah, that card's gone. That card is absolutely gone. The get out of jail free there, that's gone now. You have
played it. Right, first time out. Played it.
Now you have to go there, and you cannot lose. We cannot lose that game. We cannot lose that game. That's what you've done. We had that. That game was going to be no pressure. And now it's all the pressure. All the pressure of 5 years of an entire project is now on that game. Thanks.
Yeah. And by the way, one thing I'll say though, and I'm going to read comments right now. Literally count down from 10 and we're starting the comments. I promise. But Hamza, I was just on the stream with you. You better watch your mouth because he fucking called me out and called me Zubamendi or Declan Rice and said I'm a waste of money or something. Well, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you, but watch out because you guys still have to play tomorrow. And if you guys fucking don't beat Chelsea tomorrow, I will be on your ass like Rice, like Declan Rice, because he, despite his performance today, he wasn't that bad actually. He's always on your people's asses. All right, let's go. Comments time. JT, guys, I've been telling you, you have. Again, I read all your guys' messages. And I will confirm nor deny. If you haven't, I'll call you out on your bullshit. But this is not bullshit. You have.
JT's been on it, that's for sure.
Yeah. Again, another one. Rookie, I told you guys we couldn't keep the ball with that lineup. I told you that we couldn't keep the ball in this lineup, but you did. JT, Anton, I was disappointed when I seen your reaction to the Sporting game. Defending very reasonable criticism just because we won. We should have looked for solutions when we grinded out games. I think okay, no. I promise. I promise I'm gonna keep it. I'll let the comments stand. But I was more talking about defensive structure, starting with defensive structure. We didn't have that today because Alex Scott is, by the way, William Saliba, who's generally flawless. Alex Scott absolutely turned him and sent him into a spivvy. After, by the way, Zubamendi put him into that situation.
Zubi just let him go. He just let Scott go free. Free.
Again, I don't take that back because once again the defense let us down. We got a penalty through Victor Gyökeres. We actually were pushing to score. Here's the thing, guys. Right.
That was so lucky.
We would have, I believe we actually would have gone out of jail today and won that game had we not let Scott waltz through. Just like same thing with Southampton. I'm sorry, but you guys are looking at the wrong problems. I mean, yes, the problems are obviously there. Madueke, Martinelli. Like, we're not idiots, obviously. Right? And the good part about that is that they're not the starters. Havertz, I'll say it for the last time, is not the starter. So the problems it's when we have our back two and our center midfield and our starting goalkeepers there and they're still waltzing through like Southampton, that's when the alarms go off in my head. So no, I will not take back defense first being a thing because I was right. The defense held out, we kept a clean sheet, and eventually, hey, we scored. That would have happened against Southampton and probably against today if we did the same thing. Because eventually, yeah, somebody does step up. we can provide moments. These players aren't like talentless mugs. Like they were creating shit. Like if Gyökeres, some of those chances that fell to him, like for instance, he buries one when he's a couple yards offside. He buries that one to put us 2-1 up. Who says he doesn't bury the ones that he missed? But when he's starting to grow frustrated because the team is now behind, and it grows desperate just to even get a point, that's when you start missing off the target. Football's a funny game like that. So like the thing that for me, I still believe that needs to be fixed is the thing that's gotten us here, which is the defense. The attack's been crap the whole year, if you guys believe what everybody's been saying, right? But we're still nonetheless top of the league and in half of a foot, towards the semifinals of the Champions League, right? I still stand by that. But I haven't corrected you because I understand like that's the way you feel, and I'm not going to deny that's the way you feel, but I'm just gonna stand by what I said because nothing of that I feel like I'm not taking back things I said, but I am acknowledging what you guys have to say and how you feel about the team. And I told you guys Umedi really never dictates games. Remember, I hope you guys have seen it enough times to realize that. Okay. I think in 2026, as you said, I think you're right. Like since the Man United game, as Mo said in the post-game show today, I thought what he said was spot on. To be honest, if we could just keep, again, it goes back to Martin Odegaard. If we could just keep Martin Odegaard healthy, he could play there. In fact, maybe he might suit it. Yeah, might be your answer. If you don't have anybody else to play there, that's the only issue. But Odegaard might have to do that. You have to put Rice in the 6 and put Odegaard in the 8 because I feel like that's probably what he really is. He's not actually a 10. And then let Eze be in the 10. Maybe. You know what I mean? That might be a thing we
I
could
think
try.
if we're gonna play, I think it has worked a little bit. It has worked some, but if we're gonna play a double pivot, I feel like it's just always, like I said, I haven't like harped on about it because it's worked. When things work, they are acceptable, right? But if we're gonna play a double pivot, why are we trying to play one like farther forward? What you know what I mean? Like if we're gonna play a double pivot, let's play it traditionally and let the center attacking midfielder Martin Odegaard have freedom in the space. It's what Wenger tried to build for Mesut Ozil. Okay. It's what we should be trying to build, but instead we've got this hybrid left 8 thing. What I've always thought we should do, which and again, I don't harp on it because we've been good and it works. But what I've always said we should do is Rice in the 6 by himself and then have 2 attacking midfielders as opposed to Zubi, who is he an attacker? Is he a defender? He's a hybrid. He's kind of both, but when he flags, he doesn't do either.
By the way, Zubi, the more he gets used to Premier League football, will dictate games again in an Arsenal shirt. He will.
I hope so.
Like this, if people remember, this is his first year in the Premier League. He's been a La Liga player. Next year, he will only be better for this. Now, if he's going to gas himself out playing all these games and then playing for Spain in the World Cup, that's another story. But we have to revisit that at that time. That's kind of just part of being a footballer in 2026, to be honest. But what I will say this, right? And we'll go back. This is where I noticed on the attack because I looked at it really closely. I looked at it really closely today. Like what I did today, and Jake will vouch for me. I messaged at halftime and stuff. During the game today, I actually turned my phone off completely, so I don't see any notifications. I switched it on just after Gyökeres scored his penalty, so I can do this and be like 18 because I'm counting, and then switched it back off again. I sent that video to a few people to the Terrace football chat, and that was it. Because I wanted to actually this time, instead of sitting pressing away at my phone, actually really watch on the live viewing like I do with my second one. And one thing I noticed, and you guys will all agree because you watched the game, is that Rice picked up some amazing attacking positions. He drove at Bournemouth's team. We had 1-1. They were spaces. And guess what? He plays that to the left to Martinelli, and
it dies.
Martinelli runs it out. He plays it to the right to Madueke. Madueke runs it out. And the attack dies. Now, this is why I now, again, because Odegaard's hurt, because Zubi's falling out of form, it's hard to do. But this is why I've said Eze the whole time. That ball goes wide to Eze. You know what Eze does? And he did it in this game. He looks at his man. He drives at his man. He can double shake. Gives me something. He looks for people. He tries to do something. He makes stuff. He tries to make moments. He's the one player in our team who can grab the ball and go, fuck it. And when Rice is driving and running at defenders that way, the next person who should touch the ball is the guy who goes, fuck it. Now, Victor can do that, but the problem is we don't run down the center of the pitch. And that's the other part. Do you even notice that the teams that are beating us right now are scoring goals through the center of the pitch? When also had our best games this season, the 4-1 Villa, the 4-1 Spurs, we were scoring goals, playing both 4-1 Spurs, providing goals to the center of the pitch. Stop it with this persisting with this wing shit, especially when our wingers are crap. Where is Jake from, by the way? Jake can answer that question himself, but I believe he is from Carolina. He lives in the United States. But you
yeah, spot on. The Carolinas. Yep.
Yeah, he was saying when I was saying I was going to get to your stuff. Yeah, all good, JT. Zumeni's a good midfielder and a good passing range and can defend, but he rarely ever takes responsibility. What he does isn't control. I would say watch Kai Havertz play and tell me if he's control, and then you'll realize that Zumeni is controlling games. Because fuck, man, I suck at this. I said I wouldn't rebut people, and I'm doing it. You're right, Rookie. You're right. Okay, it's valid. I got Jake, do me a favor. If I start rebutting, just be like, Anton, you're rebutting again. Stop. Today only. Okay?
Okay.
All right? That's your job. Because I promised and I'm fucking doing it. Well, that was a terrible crotch shot. Felt like I've been kicked in the ball. Yeah.
Same.
I won't argue with that. I feel the same. If I'm being honest, I feel the same with you and Arteta. Trying to gaslight yourselves that everything is great, and as long as we win, nothing else matters. Not Metallica. Look, again, that's funny.
That's a fun
Actually,
joke.
It's funny. You got Jake to crack up on that one. Look, no, okay. Moving on. Send him back to Basque. Who, Arteta or to Zubi?
I think he's talking about Zubi.
No.
I don't agree with that.
No way. No. None of the players that we bought this summer, except for Norgard, am I considering moving on. Even Noni. Zubimendi hasn't dictated any game since he came. Okay, I will break my rule. That's as JT said earlier. In 2025, in the first half of the season, he was doing it the whole time. In fact, he was up there as a Player of the Year candidate. It's been since the clock change from the calendar change from the 5 to the 6, which when that is an accurate fact. But I wouldn't say since he came here.
He's redlining. That's all it is. He's redlining because he's never played at such a high intensity over so many games. And fucking Arteta flat refuses to let Norgard play the same role.
I think the Marino injury, though, it's starting to really rear its head. And I disrespected him early in the first half of the season. But really, you needed him. You did.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the truth. We're looking trying to find a solution, but Marino unlocks that, because if Zubimendi is right now having these issues, you got Marino who comes in and he plays, and that's as simple as that. And Arteta loves Marino, and he actually would do it. That's the other thing. He has been a great partner for Rice, but he has never controlled or dictated any game, and it's not his fault alone. Okay, I didn't let him rookie finish. Yeah, it's true. There's lots to go in it. Just strive to improve. It's great to grind out games. Mikel needs to be ages ago looking for solutions, how to make the attack more fluid, how to approach a game where the game plan isn't working. Agreed. That's true. That's true. The fact that we're still having some of the same problems now,
There's no
6
plan B.
games to go in the Premier League. Yeah.
JT's right. There's no plan B. When plan A doesn't work, we panic.
Look, I would argue that plan A has never been played. I say it like a broken record. When we spot Eze and we snatch him away from Tottenham, everyone, and if you don't agree with me now, you're lying that you didn't think this way on the day we signed him, because everyone did. Eze, Gyökeres, Saka, Odegaard. Never happened. And it's not an agenda. It's just me just saying something that should be fucking common sense. And then everybody, when I were putting out their lineups, are like trying to experiment. I don't know some of the shit I heard from some of Arsenal content creators about certain lineups that should be played for this Bournemouth game, and it's like, no, guys, stop overcooking it, bro. Stop.
What a revolutionary idea to play your best players in their proper positions.
To be honest,
what a revolutionary idea that is.
Try that first, and if that doesn't work, then I will admit to the attacking personnel being broken, because we've got great attacking personnel. They've all been great, different times. They're all great. Look at all their fucking FIFA ratings. They're all like around 84, 85, 86, 87. That's because they've got a reputation of being great players. It's just, yeah. That's what frustrates me. If it walks like a duck, looks like a duck, and quacks like a duck, it's a duck. That's chat of the day so far from BX Gunner. Arteta is like Groundhog's Day. Oh, you know what's really, really frustrating about that though? Is Wenger felt like Groundhog's Day too.
But that's the thing. If it works, you get praise. If it doesn't work, you walk out the door.
I also want you to expand on MLS. I think you have an agenda. This was one of your best games this season. Still plenty of mistakes. And he was, again, he was good today. This was probably his best game.
It's not an agenda. It's not an agenda, JT. There are just players at the club that are better. That's all it is, man. I like Miles Lewis-Skelly. I will forever remember the Holland Selly. I'm always going to remember that. I think, but when somebody's better than him, they're just better than him. It's okay.
But not just that.
It's fine. It's not a
You know what's so funny? This is what I actually love, because Mo, as a content creator, he's unbiased, and he actually analyzes football games. And could you see my rant the entire time? Mo was like he just like, fucking hell, this dude just.
Yeah,
did you see him?
Oh, for sure.
He could you see his reactions to what I was saying?
Yeah.
He's like, that's true. That's true. Oh my God, that's true. And then when I said Miles Lewis-Skelly, he started giggling. He's like, oh my God, yeah, Miles. When is everybody going to realize that Miles Lewis-Skelly is shit, bro? Like what? Like, I remove your Arsenal tinted glasses. He has been burnt. But there's a winger at Wigan who plays. He's Australian. He played with my friend at work's brother in the A League, in their youth team. He burnt Miles Lewis-Skelly this season. Like, it's like I'm that's where it comes from. I want him to do well. But if again, this is the first time, probably Brighton in the Carabao Cup was the other one, where he actually was somewhat decent, but he wasn't one of our better players. Okay, yeah, I see his ability on the ball. I see how, he's got great control and he's got good passing vision, right? But again, I never said he doesn't have the chance to be a good midfielder. In fact, his best moments today was when he was inverting and playing as a midfielder. Then make him a midfielder. But as a left back, he's not it. And Siri,
Is it time?
Is
it time to give him a shot at Zubimendi's role?
Maybe. I'm telling you, I don't have. I promise. I do not have an agenda. Especially not against any player at this club. Because I love them all. They wear as long as they're wearing this shirt and they don't respect the shirt, I will back them. I defend them. As much as I criticize him, I'll defend him too. Like, I'll tell you this much. He probably, given the fact that most of England's left backs are shit, still should make the plane to go to the United States with England in some capacity. I would give him a shot. What I would do is I would go with him, I would go with Hall, and I would go with the other O'Reilly at City, and let them go into that little pre-tournament training camp and battle it out. And I think he's got a chance. Like, but he also, because unfortunately though, he's not making it in the team as a center midfielder because it's just, he hasn't played enough there for Tuchel to pick him there. But he has a chance. But in Arsenal's, Calafiori and Nkapie. But Calafiori, where are you? Again, I actually haven't said it. When did you get injured, and which is it bad enough for you not to play today? Why is these injuries popping up out of nowhere that are just ghost injuries? And how many times have we had games where we had guys we pulled from the starting lineup this year, which was a record twice? It's never happened. I've never seen it before. And twice we've had players injured in warm-ups. Him one of them. No, in fact, he's done it twice this year, hasn't he?
I got no answers for
times.
you on that. I got no answers whatsoever.
He ghosts. He's a great player, but where are you? Like, the availabilities of these players, I get it. We've got a big squad. We want to rotate, whatever. But then when you don't have anybody to rotate with, you got to kind of be like, hey, this guy's less injured than the other one. Let's just go. Between Calafiori and Nkapie, you could have at least split the game somewhat 50-50.
Yeah, just share the minutes.
Yeah. I say earlier today we need to go back to a 4-3-3 system that we played for 3 seasons and now is because it went into a direction of we want to be more direct and capitalize on transition. Look, interesting. Yeah, I have my own thoughts on that. Jake, I think, has his own thoughts of that, which is like we just need to platform a good 10 that can create and dictate the game. How many times today, if you watch the commentary, did they say, hey, Arsenal just need to get the ball to a guy who can create? We're missing Odegaard. Even John Chambers, like, they're missing, or was it Andy Townsend? They're missing Odegaard today, because this would be a bird game, be perfect for him. He can get on the ball, he can create. When Eze came on, well, they're going to need to try to get him the ball so he can create. Who doesn't do it? Havertz. So I actually would rather, with a Rice and Zubimendi, to platform, and we did it against Tottenham to devastating effect twice, where we platformed Eze in that position, and he absolutely destroyed. Now again, it's Tottenham, but I've seen him do another game. Leverkusen, another example. For me, our best games has been when we have platformed a 10 to be the one to dictate, find everybody. The problem is Rice at the moment is trying to do it, or Zubimendi sometimes is trying to. Well, Zubimendi's actually at the moment hiding from it. That's how it's frustrating about him, and I feel like there's more going backwards than there are forwards. But look, hey, I'm a guy who said that we got to stick with what's worked, and if playing 2-8s is what worked, then we'll play 2-8s and gives you keeps your midfield closer together. And maybe that's kind of what Ruki is trying to say. I think, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
Well, MLS is being played out of position, so I don't blame him for anything. Yeah, that's exactly my point. I'm just saying he's shit as a left back. Listen to my words very carefully, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't say he's a shit player. I said he's a shit left back. Also want to remind you and many others that were saying when Saka and Timber were playing and weren't looking the best, you said, when White returns, we will be better. Just wait. Did I? Oh, look, if I did, hey, I was wrong. But look, White, I know for sure. White, I definitely know the White thing. I definitely did. I don't know about Havertz though. I did. I was jumping on a little bit of the Havertz bandwagon after the Kyrat game, but when we lost to the Sunderland game, and I said that today. Hey, I wish my wish would be that you get see Kai Havertz the way he played against Sunderland today at least. No, it was
Ben White's just let everybody down. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Ben White, the calls for Ben White were understandable because 22-23 Ben White was amazing. We just haven't seen him. He's just let us all down since he's come back from that last injury. He's been shit.
Look, to be honest, I don't think you can keep fans account. Like I'm looking at all you guys. We all have a point, and we all also have things that we're right, we're wrong about. Here's the fucked up part, and I hate to say it, but right now this football club is very confusing, and they're dropping the ball and they're making us all look like idiots. The truth is that I've always said this about arguments, especially when it comes to friends or couples. Generally, there's no one right person, one wrong. They're actually both right and they're both wrong. So they both have valid arguments that they are pushing across that the other person is not wanting to acknowledge because they're trying to push their side of the argument. But really, it's like truth, 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 truth. I'm not listening to your truth. I'm not listening to your truth. And then sometimes, every once so often, lie, lie, lie. But everyone's both lying and they're both telling the truth. That makes sense. And sometimes it's not even a lie. Sometimes it's just we don't always have the answers. I don't always have the answers. That's just the truth. Truth, truth, truth. Our former system problem was we weren't clinical enough. And if it was very patient, but we always had control and mostly were stable. Well, that's what I said about the Sporting game. Exactly it. Keep stable. Don't concede. We didn't concede in the month of October. We won games 1-0 many times. Fulham, Crystal Palace, all that. Right? It's the concerning part is that we're letting Bournemouth score the first goal. They let them score the winners. The fact is that they're scoring goals in like the 80+ minute, which is too late. That's when it's after minute 80. There should be 0 goals conceded. That's seriously me. So if they score at the beginning, I'm like, fine, long time, we'll get back into this. We scored a penalty before halftime. Plenty of times to adjust and build on it. We didn't. But we could have eventually. Give us a chance to if we don't concede. And even if we don't score and it finishes 1-1, I told you everybody, to win the league officially, we needed 5 wins and a draw. So I would have been like, okay, well, we got the draw. Cool. Let's get the 5 wins. But yeah, that's what I mean. The defense, rookies hit the nail on the head. Like, sometimes we're too impatient and we're too obsessed about the attack. And I feel like it does a little bit lead to a bit of overthinking. And the truth is that, as I said before, everyone has a point. The attack hasn't been good enough from a fluidity standpoint. So I've never really gotten a good understanding. But the defense had carried us this way. And now, all of a sudden, I just feel like they're just too tired trying to make up for that attack, maybe. That could just be something that's going on. And you know what I mean? They can only hold the fort down for so long. Who else was going in the 10? We don't have anyone. You replied to that one. Well, Eze, he could have. The thing is, I would have said, this is what I would have said. Havertz is a good finisher. He came off the bench to score against Sporting. Eze is a good starter. Let's start Eze. Eze obviously probably can't play the whole game. And then we'll make the switch to Havertz. And maybe Havertz can come in and provides a moment.
He played half the game anyway, so yeah.
But in the first half, I need someone to set the tempo and to control the game. And Eze did that afterwards. At the end of the day, we don't have good enough quality to cover long-term first team injuries. Maybe that's true. As I said, I thought we did, but maybe we don't. But at the same time, a long portion of the season, we had so many injuries and nobody noticed it. But it never stopped. It was relentless. That's the issue. And then everyone tires, and now everybody's got an injury issue. Everyone's fatigued. We don't have anybody
All right,
in
Anton.
the school. Here we go. See?
All right. 5-second sound bites. 5-second sound bites I need.
All right. Anton, I have to be honest. I have to call you out. Recently, when I seen you, I found you to be much more reasonable. But on the terrace, when we were winning, you never criticized or acknowledged mistakes. Because I had to go there and always would put in the defense mode because the other idiots come out and do that already. Not to say idiots, because they're my colleagues. I'm sorry. I was emotional and I apologize. Other people have done that for me. Because when I'm on the terrace, the idea, when you guys know a little bit and 5-second sound bites, the idea is many different points are brought in. When somebody else has made a point, I already cross it off my list because it's already been said. And now I don't need to say it. Like a lot of stuff Igal said today, I was like, fuck, Igal took my monologue and I completely had to rewrite it. And that's why I said to Igal, I'm like, damn, spot on. That's the best piece of analysis I've seen. Because that's exactly the piece of analysis I would have given. But yeah, that's kind of the reason why. Other people do it for. That's not my role on the terrace. On here, I will. There is multiple problems at play. Yeah, look, it's looking that way. This is bigger than Kai Havertz in midfield. This is about our system for the whole season. Can't maximize output from a defined number 10. Interesting. The board needs to be called out. The City executives would never leave the weakness at left wing open for so long.
Well, they tried. They brought in Berta, and you can only do so much in one window.
By the way, Berta's already said that it's his priority for this coming summer. And I think they did it. It's just about Arteta didn't utilize it. He bought Eze to be a left winger. I swear you asked Berta, why did I buy Eze for? To be my left winger. It's only for them to buy the players. It's up to the manager of how to use them. Because, I don't think anybody would be happy if we learned that Andrea Berta is telling Arteta how to coach his players. You would be losing your shit and creating another agenda there.
You would lose your mind if we found out that was true. Yeah.
Yeah, true. Right. Noni falls asleep for the first goal. Yeah, right. Yep. Well, I said that in the pregame show.
He did. Sure did.
Martinelli can't beat his man and can't cross. I said that in the pregame show. Havertz misses a free header from 3 yards out. Yeah, true. And we have no ball playing midfielders that can pass forward. Well, Declan Rice.
Not in the starting lineup today.
Well, Declan Rice, let's be honest. Declan Rice is Cam. Come on.
That's not his role, though. That's not his role, though.
It shouldn't be, but it's what he
can because he's amazing. But that's not his role. That's not his best attribute.
Yeah, true. We are not good enough without Odegaard, Saka, Timber. Simple as that. Well, that's a lot of names.
Facts.
Which is why I haven't given up on the season. If the death squad started today and this is what it looked like, I'd be like, okay, I see it. No, we can't win. But I'm just criticizing as to why we haven't gone for our best team, why we haven't given our best
half of our best team being out. Yeah, come on.
Yeah, but it's still the case. The manager can't be trusted, and that's the main issue. We'll revisit this in the summer.
Be trusted. Arteta can be trusted to do exactly what Arteta does every single time. He doesn't change. He doesn't care what we think. He does what he does every single time, and that's what you can trust him to do. Whether or not you trust him to win is another thing.
We will revisit it at the end of the season. We will have not just me, but there'll be many different everyone. All Arsenal fans across the board will be doing this if we don't win, right?
Yep.
That's when we talk about it. Now we defend this shit show until they deliver us a trophy. Honestly, that's what we got to do. Just whatever. Like today, I had my rant on the pro game about the lineup, and then I said, all right, let's go. Let's fucking go. But I was right. I hate that I
Yep.
was right, but I was. Um, Ever since we changed our system, we have been running more, having to engage in more duels and lose our control. We're losing duels, by the way. That's
Yep.
what's really. I'm watching this game, and fucking Bournemouth is winning every fucking header. We're launching long balls, and
And not
Bournemouth is the
challenging
one
for
winning
them.
him. Yeah. But Arteta at fault for trusting them. He's stuck with White, Martinelli, Havertz, and chosen. To be fair, though, he is the boss of a business, and you have to try to inspire confidence and show them faith in some sort to try to get the best out of them. It's part of you're also managing human beings, not FIFA players, right? So
Yeah.
so you have to kind of take that into account, and like that's all he really. Unfortunately, though, that's all he had today. I actually wasn't yelling at Arteta for playing that because, like, when you look at the lineup, they had no other option. Now, would I have done Eze and I would have done Hincapié? Yes, but the
And
rest of
Mascara.
them,
Yes.
yeah. But the rest of them, like the Noni one, I can't say anything. The Martinelli one, yeah, probably Trossard because that worked last time. Oh yeah, you know what? You're right. I
You're
tried
right.
to.
He's right.
I tried.
He's
I
right.
tried, but you're right. You're right. The city executives would never got strengthened in January to seal the deal, and this is the first time. I can't compare the two of us because City have bottomless pockets and they throw their money at their problems all the time. That's the difference. Arsenal don't buy in January because we have plans that we want to execute in the summer, like long-term targets. And if you spend your money elsewhere when on people who are available now rather than going off for the one you really want, it's like, all right, we're all guys here, right? If you start, you've been in a long-term relationship with a girl, right? But you know, you break up and then you have your little rebound girl, right? But in the meantime, you've broken, you were actually just having a little bit of a fight with your real girl, and then you fucked it up by fucking the rebound girl or the chick at the club or something, and you've actually ended up losing out on the love of your life. You're gonna regret that,
Epic mistake. Epic mistake.
right? So
Let's keep it.
that's
Let's keep
kind
it
of
rolling though.
yeah. But that's kind of the way I feel when
I'm.
it
I'm
comes
gonna
to
have to.
Arsenal. Yeah.
I'm gonna
All
have
right,
to go
let's keep it
soon. So
rolling.
let's
Keep it
keep it
rolling.
rolling.
Sad thing is, Mikel is a great coach, but if we don't win the league, we will fire him. True.
We
Oh,
should
that's a
too.
name from
Keep
the
going.
past. Lucas Perez would have gotten 20 goals this season. Okay, JT, you say a lot of great things, but I'm gonna have to thoroughly disagree with you on this.
I don't know about that one.
One of the
Yep.
worst Arsenal strikers I've ever seen, next to Yaya
Yeah.
Sanogo.
Was.
Um, also, you can see this even when we build up. We have superior numbers with this new system with both fullbacks, wide center backs, and TMs, and six mostly against four. And we've been unable to play out of opponent's press. Yeah, Timber plays a long part of that. And Ruki, you were on here criticizing Timber. Do you understand now? Maybe it's time for you to admit you were wrong on that because I did. I did. I was on
Gotta
the
have
boat
him.
with you, and yeah. He glitches sometimes when thinking about Lauren. He's talking about you.
Yep. Yep.
I am a fan of a lot of what Arteta did, but he's missing a lot of his game. But when we went with much less money spent against Prime City and did better, I mean,
No, we
he's
didn't.
never done better than we are now. We're still fairly clear of them. Still.
Yeah.
Of course, there's a difference, but on paper, Arsenal 23-24 would have won this league already. If Arsenal of 23-24 had Victor Gyökeres up front, yes.
We would have smashed the league. Yeah, for sure.
What the fuck was that game? I know.
Good question.
I don't think we deserve to win the league, honestly. I'm not
Well,
going
it ain't
to
over yet.
because I'm going to say
It
that
ain't-
the overall
it ain't over
consistency.
yet.
I'm not going to forget. I'm not sorry, but I'm not throwing out the overall number of consistency just for a bad patch that we've had in recent weeks. I'm sorry.
Ain't over yet.
Yeah, as much as I want, as much as I'm tempted to go with what you're saying, I can't. Bournemouth just bullied us throughout the game. True, as I just said. Is there any option to get on the stream. JT, brother, if you want to get on the stream, I will happily have you on the stream. Jake literally did the same thing. He just emailed me, and he's been on the stream always, bro.
Grab a camera, grab a mic. You'll catch the link for sure.
Yeah, I'll chuck you the next time. That's a bit late in the stream, but next time I will give you, if you want, I will give you the chance. I will put a link here in the chat, and you can join. I think Eze did well today. Yeah, I do. We actually created so many. We actually looked really good in attack in the closing moments of the game after we were 2-1 down. We were like, all of a sudden, like really making like Jesus. What was that combo? I want to see. I don't know if I want to see it again because it's just it's losing shit in subset.
Was Jesus in the 10?
You had like Jesus and Jokeres and Eze and Dauman.
Yeah,
it was creating
and
chances.
Trossard.
Yeah,
Trossard. Jesus was playing left 8, wasn't he? What?
I don't know where he was playing.
Gabriel had the chance at the end of the game.
Yeah,
the center back.
You could see it's helter skelter. You know what I mean? We don't know. You know what I mean? Like everyone's everywhere. Man, Calafiori wasn't even there, and we're still playing like popping up wherever the fuck we want to.
Right?
Yeah, I mean it's crunch time. Saka, you're part of on-field leadership. Why aren't you at least in the stadium? So that's correct. That's why I keep saying on his couch because I can't think of anywhere else he is. But today I feel it was not Arteta. It was players who played shit. That's true. That's why when I did my blame pie, it's 50% Arteta, 50% players. Because yeah, that's true. You can read the chat. It's more connecting while watching the stream.
That's what we're doing right now.
Yeah. He been lying. I get you don't want to reveal much for the press, but when you don't build an on-field, off-field relationship with the fans and don't show it on the field, how can you expect people to get behind you? Exactly. Which is why when I look at the lineup, there's a distrust there. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I'm all of a sudden angry right before the kickoff. I'm literally walking my dog with my headphones in, listening to North London Forever, like trying to really pump myself up. And I was like, and I get the emotions because that song always makes me feel a certain way. And then my alarm goes off, telling me it's time to check the lineups, and all of a sudden I'm fucking angry. Now, why is that happening? Exactly what you just described. I said it many times. I wouldn't be as worried if we lost a close game. In the first half of the season, we lost or drew. We looked like the better team. Not even if we win, we look bad and we don't. Facts, JT, and he says facts, Jake. To you were dropping some facts. You were definitely. I don't know what point, but there are many things you were. Hey, I got to tell you, let you guys in a little bit. Jake has been throwing darts against the wall for the last basically since the end of the game. And by the time stream came on, he absolutely killed it. Like put all those thoughts that he was just throwing at the wall and put them together to be spit and fire. That's what.
You don't want to see our chat.
Yeah,
you don't want to see the things I was saying in the chat.
But I'm so impressed with how you put that all together. Like at the end of it, that's why I was literally telling Jake like, just let it out, just keep going, because when you're throwing darts at the wall, you're actually saying things that are they're facts and they're not facts, and then you kind of decipher through them, and you're like, okay, the combination of what I said, there's some truth in here somewhere. Okay, that's it. Yeah, both drop Rice and Zubi doesn't make sense. Yeah, correct. Yeah, Zubimendi has been good, but he never offered control even at his bests. It feels to me like Arteta treats players like robots. We cannot be surprised. Players have dropped off. We need to adjust. I agree. He treats them like robots. And then when it's time to win, he treats them like people. Oh, boss, I'm having a sickie today. Okay, you can stay home. Okay, Sakai, you can stay home. Sorry, boss. Again, I'm still sick. I still have pneumonia.
My knee coughed.
Arteta, as much as I respect him, he misses the X factor that Klopp has, brings the best out of players. I can't argue with that. I can't argue with that. I mean, although, okay, no, I can't. Damn, I can't. That's bullshit. Arteta is the Liam. No, move on, JT. All right, quit while you're ahead. You've caught me out today. I've admitted that I've been wrong on certain things you caught me out on. But quit while you're ahead. Do not compare him to Liam Rosina. But on that being said, Liam Rosina, fucking get the job done. Come on, Chelsea. I won't be chasing Arteta out of the club unless we have at least a similar level manager. I would not. JT, why don't they read the chat? Are they able to see the chat? Oh my god, this is lovely. Yes, we're just having a conversation. Because if I replied every single time as live, then the stream would we would get off topic like every time, and we would never have like a flow in our conversation, which is why we kind of let you guys talk. And sometimes it is when the chat is less busy and it pops up, I'll do it. But when it's blowing up, which I love.
Today, though.
Yeah.
Big up to you guys today. There's been probably like 200 comments already. Big up.
I'll be honest. I love it. I prefer it this way because you blowing up my chat, which is great for the algorithm, guys. And this is the way it is. And I'll get to you guys when I get to you. But I do definitely, your voice is heard. And one thing I do, I make sure I read every single comment. And we'll see when we get to, when I have a lot more comments, if it's at all possible, we'll have to kind of reformat it. But, as long as I can, I will. But I got to be better at speed reading and not responding to everybody. But I know you guys want me to reply to you. I'm even honest about myself, my own performances. Maybe Arsenal players can try that. They will be, I think, after they vent, they usually read the chat and say, yeah, there you go. JT's got it. Guys, it is it is static. We are too stiff in possession, especially. And it is exactly because the system requires our fullbacks and half spaces, meaning mostly center backs at the base. Yeah, spot on. But they are doing a good job. They try to respond and read the whole. Yeah, man, JT's
got our back.
JT's got.
He's already part of the channel. Get him a mic. Get him a mic.
Yeah, I know. Meaning turnovers. Our players see constantly thinking about the rest. Defense while they play, and you can see it the moment they lose the ball, especially when our best center backs aren't there. Yeah, I know, but even today, Saliba and Gabriel got cut through by Scott. Not exactly in that way, by the way, but that was a bit simplifying it a bit too much. But anyway, the players are DeJean 7-6. I think first time you're here. Big up. Make sure you're liking and subscribing if you haven't already. I will urge that, by the way. The fact that I haven't even gotten to 150 in like 2 weeks. Come on, guys.
It's coming.
Come on, guys. I mean, want even beyond 250, guys. Like, seriously, it's 3:55 a.m.
Speaking of, man, 5-minute warning for me. I gotta get
5-minute warning. All right, let's go. Two things can be. We're not doing play rates today, and trust me, the players probably don't want it. Two things can be true. If you think Odegaard in this game would change anything, you are losing me. With Odegaard, we are maybe drawing or losing 1-0. At the end of the day, it's about utilizing Odegaard to max out his potential, and the same with Havertz. All I'll say on this is that I want to see Odegaard with Eze, Gyökeres, and Saka because he's actually got good attackers who will actually attack their fullbacks and actually have finishing product, and I think you can trust and rely on those guys, and they can play off of each other. It's just never happened. That's why. It's the idea of I want both Eze and Odegaard in the team, not Kai Havertz. How could you be creative when the shape you are playing basically makes me feel you exposed? This is exactly we see either no risk or insane hoofball act. I know. I hate that. I fucking hate it. It was driving me crazy today. And we're not even keeping possession anymore. And Bournemouth have more possession than Arsenal at the Emirates. It's so pathetic to beg fans for support when you cannot even beg your players to perform. Have you ever seen a title-winning side that needs to beg fans for support? The performances inspire support. True.
Exactly.
I think there's a middle ground. We have our part to play, but I agree. The fact that he did it and the players didn't come out to play, it starts to fall on deaf ears. The next time he calls on it,
Yeah.
we're all gonna be like, whatever, dude. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I hate this system. I really do. Like I explained earlier, we are using one extra man in the build-up belt phase now. Where exactly did we get that from? The midfield, meaning we are already light there. Meaning those two DMs have to always be alert and be prepared for some high-intensity sprints. And please, let's not act like Bournemouth are this amazing team. On-form Bournemouth are not categorically better. On-form West Ham, Palace, Newcastle, Fulham. We could lose just like we did today. Bournemouth don't have better players, but they kept the ball and we couldn't. You know why? Because their midfield were mostly in the midfield. We have no link. It's true. It's not always about quality of player. It's positioning, and balance, squad balance. That's what I was kind of my idea about the lineup today. That's crazy, guys. We don't need to sacrifice players. Zumetti could have been 70% instead of 30% if like he, Norgard, or Skelly would be subbed on for him a few times. It's better. Look, he subbed him off for Jesus today. No one tell me the system works for Eze because he's got some good performances at the 10, but no consistency. It doesn't. But in our best games, they did it. It doesn't. Most times he doesn't do it for Eze. But when it's worked, our best attacking performances is when he's platformed Eze. Facts. It freaking annoys me. Let's not act like Eze is amazing, even when finding better form he isn't amazing. We are just so hungry for any positive performances. Okay, and we gas up basic ass performances. I don't agree with that in terms of it. I think Eze is amazing, and he was amazing at Crystal Palace. Are you guys ever going to read the comments? Also, the Waneri loan has to be blamed for the yes, I agree. If we would get sub appearances here and there, halftime, you would never want to leave, but yes, absolutely. Absolutely agreed. And I said it at the time too. They were afraid. They chose to pass the ball amongst themselves in their own half. What do you expect and to get and not what do you expect to get? And if it's not like the team were playing Barcelona, City, Madrid, PSG, they were scared. Yeah, I get you, Johan. I get it. Anton, let's put your mind at ease. We will win the league. I know it. There are a lot of factors for what is happening. True. Yeah, City's not winning all 8 games. Like we
Absolutely,
how many times have we been fooled by them having a couple games together where they've looked amazing, and then all of a sudden they can't break down Nottingham Forest. They'll probably beat Chelsea, and then when they play Burnley, somehow they'll drop points or something after that.
They'll lose the Palace or something. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, anyway, dude. Anyway, man, I'm gonna have to sign off.
All right, cool. I'll just read them off. You put in a good shift. Thanks so much for coming on, man. As always, from your car. I'll finish off these comments, and I gotta head to bed myself because it's 4 a.m. o'clock.
Hell yeah! All right, people, I'm out. Big up, everybody.
Big up, Jake. All right, Anton. And if we win the league, please keep this energy. We cannot turn around and act like it's all perfect. I would love for Arteta to win the league and stay, but he needs to realize that change is needed. Yeah, but if he wins the league, he stays. End of. But this is solvable. I'm pissed as fuck. We have been playing this way most of the season, and we are making repetitive mistakes, but it will change. Liverpool's 1-0 up against Fulham. Oh my God, am I going to have spoken throughout the entire game? What's the score of that now at this point? 2-0 Liverpool. Okay. I told you Liverpool would win. Yes. He did rip into the team, even in the Sporting game. We talking about me? If we keep playing like this and City kept playing like they are, the league is done. I still have hope, but I don't have a belief. The thing is with the points buffer. But yeah, we need to at least get a draw next week. Absolutely. For a 4-2-3-1 to work, we need our wingers to be very good and beat their man, and need our fullbacks to have a proper execution of output. And a striker can't run in behind, occupy. Who can run? And yeah, that's true. And our wingers are shit right now, or unavailable. I closed the stream before Hamza started to speak. I'm older and wiser, but Hamza, at least what he presents himself online, is definitely the type of guy If he acted like that to me in person, it's curtains. Yeah, I know. Feel free to respond or disagree. I don't want validation. I want honest conversation. Boom. I agree. I'm with you there, buddy. DMs need to be more effective with long passes like switches and deep crosses, and also both need to be smart like Pavlovich and Kimmich. And our 10 must float everywhere and be comfortable everywhere in that first phase. Well, that's my point about Eze. I think you can do that. Tactics been found out. Daniel Collins. Like CD did to us in the final, don't press Raya, ask us to play through them. We can't go long, we lose it. Even when we do break press, none of our midfielders turn to space. I can't disagree with that at all. I can't. That's kind of been what I'm harping about for the last few weeks now. We don't have any of this. Now, some of our best versions of 4-2-3-1, like Bayern and Barca, have different versions of this. I disagree with defense first, but I don't mind it. It's more like the lack of variety in how we can win the game. We might have gone great defensively in the Sporting game, but we didn't have any control. Anton, just state your disagreements. It's fine. Try and disagree and defend yourself is a roundabout way. And just say, but your emotions are valid is so condescending. I'm sorry, bro. I am. Big up, lads. First time viewer. Big up, Shane. Make sure you're liking and subscribing, my friend. And thanks for being here. And you're going to enjoy the content here. Big up, Shane, says JT. We play one more forward to create diagonal lines. Shane responds back to JT. I actually think we should start planning to buy another DM. I agree. That's why the Tonali and the Anderson links, everybody's linked to those players, make sense. Rice either needs to be forced to do more offensively or be the 6. There's no two ways around it. He just gravitates to be defensive too much. By the way, I am defending Gyökeres a lot. But this and the Sporting games were really disappointing. Both the offenses offsides are on him. He did great with the shot, but watch your line, man. We don't expect anything else. If not that Rice gravitates towards defense, JT, he is our safety. Our rest defense in the system is so sus, but with Rice anticipation of danger, it's what holds our possession together. That's also a fair point. Yeah, Rice, the way he plays would work amazing in an attacking team with great attackers around him, where he is the reasonable one and tries to be safe. Yeah, that's what Jake was saying. In our team, he needs to be more attacking or be the 6. Kai is nothing but a runner. He's supposed to be a low-touch player. He has always been, but Zubimendi isn't, but he never controls shit. Big up, Jake. Hope you are not a Hurricanes fan. No, he's not. At least I don't know. I don't know if Jake's really a big hockey guy. He's a Panthers fan. I can tell you that much. And I think a Hornets fan too. That would be a horrible combo with being an Arsenal fan. Yeah, I don't know enough about hockey to say it. What exactly do you guys call dictating tempo? We'll talk about it in another stream if you care. At the moment, it's 4:05 a.m. But yeah. By the way, you sent this at 3:21. Oh my god. How far am I away from these comments? All right. Oh wow. Guys, I am going to end up being here all night. So yeah, let's go to some of the ones more recently, guys. I'm sorry to say it, but it is 4:05. I do need to call it, guys. I do love you all, but today I'm literally going to fall asleep. So I'll go from the last 10 minutes. Okay, cool. So JT goes, I'll try to come on. I don't know what my camera and mic quality be, and I am not a native English speaker, but if you guys have me, I would love to. Also, if it's not good for stream, I won't hold it if not. Look, to be honest, it's a skill that people develop. Like, even myself, I'm still kind of getting used to it. Like, I still fumble my words sometimes. By the way, I was on Lou's group chat for the watch along, and there was a rare Cal Gunner appearance. You mean in the chat? Yeah. Wow. Okay. Good to see you. I speak to Cal all the time. I was chatting during the game today. After the game. Yeah. Yeah, Cal's a bit pissed, so I would be surprised if he showed up in the chats. I don't know if he would have been on the stream, but he would have been in the chat. Tell me if you're still watching. Yeah, I was responding to the specific point of yours. Of course, Arteta ain't Liam Rossini, but when we signed Arteta, it was basically our version of Liam Rossini. We took a chance and it worked pretty well. The difference is that Liam Rossini was an assistant for Pep. Yeah, you need to look at the chat and decide if it's worth to respond extensively. And even if you want to respond, just do a quick 1-2 point sentence and it'll be even better. Arteta and his boys must leave, says Charlie Stone. Zubi isn't world class, Martinelli, etc. I love Eze. I just think he wasn't at his best a lot this season. When he showed a little something, people were gassing it. I don't hate on him. I just think he can be doing better. Big up, Jake. Let's go. Let Jake go, Anton. You've been draining him like Arteta Zubimendi. Just kidding. Rookie making some good points, by the way. I said, bro, it's not sustainable. Anton is cooked. Bro is sleepwalking through comments at 4 a.m. Big him up, chat. He respects your messages. Hit the like. Just end it. Just end it now, bro. No worries. In the chat. Yeah. Okay, perfect. All right, guys. I gotta get to fucking sleep. All right. Yeah, when my girlfriend, who's been asleep already for 5 hours, finds out that I was up till 4, she's gonna be looking at me side-eyed, like, really? And she'll be like waking me up at like 8 o'clock a.m. in the morning, and I'm like, I've been only asleep for 4 hours. So yeah, much love to everybody. It's been a fucking tough day. I literally chatted, I think, through the Liverpool game. Love you guys all. Love you guys being here. Filling out the amount of comments there's so many comments now that like I can't even get to all of them, and that is literally, I'm so happy that we're there. I used to literally just talk to myself. So big up to you guys. Thanks again, and hopefully, I don't know what's going to be coming around the pike over, with Arsenal for the rest of the season. I just hope somehow there's a come to Jesus conversation and we get our shit together and we actually go ahead and we start winning trophies, because we have a chance to advance to semi-final on Wednesday night, and they better get their act together and not blow that on the meantime too. Like, seriously. Because it's just as possible. We lost to Bournemouth today. Why can't Sporting come and do the same? Anyway, guys, I am out of here, and we'll see you guys next time, probably then. Although I'm going to try to make some content, but I'm going to probably not tomorrow, because I'm going to have to probably sleep, and then I've got, stuff to do in the evening tomorrow. But anyway, big ups to everybody, and we are out of here. See ya.